Welcome back everyone. I am getting ready to go out as usual. Today I have no clue what am I gonna do. So I'm just gonna go with the flow, see where my look lands up. I think nothing too complicated because I don't have much time. So let's just dive in. Eye cream always first.
Moving on to the face moisturizer, I am using this one because it is power packed with omega fatty acids, ceramides, and has an ultra rich texture without leaving the skin oily. Finally, foundation at last. But wait, what? My right cheek's been having a really rough one this week. So we're gonna wait till the end and you can learn to cover and embrace it at the same time. So I'm going to take this foundation and stipple it over slightly darker areas and on my beloved right cheek for some extra coverage.
If you can tell, I love the glow that the Tom Ford foundation gives. It gives such a skin-like and healthy appearance. I don't think I have ever found a better match to my skin.
Going in with the concealer closest to my skin color and pinpointing it onto those blemishes.
I don't really mind if like any imperfections are seen. I think it just makes it very real. So I'm gonna let this sit for a while here while I go ahead and just kind of conceal around my mouth a bit. I am now going to start blending these out. What was left on the back of the hand, I'm just going to work that around the nose. I can see a little bit of discoloration around there. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay corrector right under my eyes. Alright, I'm using my favorite brush and I'm just working this around. Gonna mix two concealer shades. So there's this one. That is natural beige and warm beige. Okay, I'm just going to kind of mix that behind. And I'm just going to ensure first there's no creasing happening with my eye cream or anything. I'm going to start working this concealer. I like to pull this up, it gives me a little bit of a guide. I usually don't go in much with my finger once I've kind of laid down the product, but today I want a little bit of a seamless blend. Working that across the lid. I like to go on this area a bit, mainly because there's some creases that creasing is usually sort of in this area right here, like right here. So by thinning out the product, it just gives you lesser chances of creasing. I will sort of slightly brighten up just the under eyes bit. The important thing first is to at least take care of the pigmentation, because otherwise you're kind of not gonna find a way around that. So I took just a dollop, just like the tiniest bit of this is light beige. Gonna work that in with the rest of whatever I have left, and I'm gonna place that right under, so just for like, you know, a bit of a brightening effect. Just gonna brighten under my chin here to get the chin to come forward a bit, and all the rest I am actually going to work with my foundation brush. I'm just picking up whatever's left, and I'm going to work that around my forehead, just like in the center. And I'm just going to look a little higher, and I am going to set this after my dark circles and pigmentation sort of gets taken care of. Like, I feel like a new person always. Just applying a little bit of lip balm because my lips are just always so dry. I'm going to take a little bit of the Makeup Forever powder, and then I'm just diffusing the look of any shine that was there that I wasn't too keen on. I would actually do quite a bit of setting in this area right here because of all that, you know, the pinpointy concealing that we did. My favorite bronzer at the moment, just because it's so nice and it's so healthy looking. And I'm just going to use a Katie Jane's Hues brush. Just swirl that and start bronzing where I kind of want to. It's funny, it looks kind of pink in the camera because my camera, I feel, tends to pick up more on redness. No, actually it is a little pink because of, I think, some previous blush that was left on this, but I don't care much. This lets me bring some warmth back. Bronzer is like sort of in place. I'm gonna move on to the eyes, and today I'm gonna use my Modern Renaissance ABH palette, and I want to go for something like a dusty pink almost, but okay, I don't have anything in mind, so we're gonna try to build a look slowly. Obviously, first things first, I'm going to go with an all over shade, and I'm thinking golden ochre with a kind of a big brush like this. Tapping and using this right in the we're going to extend this a bit outwards. As you all know, my right side is a little more hooded than my left, so we're gonna always have to work around that. For my next shade, I'm actually gonna dip into, you know, Huda Beauty's first ever palette, the textured eyeshadow palette, and I'm actually gonna pick up like a mix of these two because I want, whatever it is, I still want that bit of pop. And we are gonna start placing it down. And I'm also gonna do that sort of in the inner corner. And think of creating a bit of a halo-like effect. And I'm just taking this onto my crease, and we're gonna take this outwards. I think I'm gonna add this beautiful shade called Angelic from the same palette. I feel this brighten up the whole look. So I am going once again just to kind of get the color a little more depth and pull it out. Oh my gosh, Jalebi Baby is playing in my head because I heard it last night. Ooh, can't get that song out of my head right now. So if you see, I'm working it into my inner corner. I'm just using the small brush because it's so easy to maneuver, especially when you have hooded eyes. I'm actually just going to take a nice clean blending brush and just go over the edges just to make sure everything is well blended out. You know, there are no harsh lines, no harsh shadows, all that jazz, my friends. Gonna go in with Angelic right in. And I'm gonna put this right into the brow bone. So you kind of have like a nice pinky gold shift that's happening. You know, once a gold is in place, I would know whether I have to kind of go back in with any color. It would really help define that, and I think I need to. So I'm just going in with only the pink, which is called Flamingo. I'm actually just going to go in with that shade because it really helps the eye pop. Just blending, feathering this out a bit. I love. Now if you know me, you know my eyes, that my left eye opens more than my right eye. So I am going with this Makeup Forever pencil, and I only line one eye because this eye is already open. Why would I line both? This is what I do to like cope up with an eye that's slightly more open than the other. The things we do for beauty. To kind of mute things down a bit, I'm just going to take a nice thin pencil, a thin brush like this one. I'll take this brown called Cocoa from the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm going to start working that right. Oops, I'm having some fallout. I have to change strategy. Okay, so instead I'm just going to take a brush like this, and I am going to kind of work that on the back of my hand first. For that little spot here, I'm just going to go back in with my foundation a bit, and I'm just going to stipple that. And that's taken care of. Next up is blush, and I am going to go with the same Dior shade that I went in with last time. Just kind of taking it into the temples. And I also want I want to bring this a bit into my eyeshadow for kind of like a seamless blend. We are moving to brows. Brow gel. And it's not until you do your mascara and maybe even your lips that you kind of notice that you need to go with the rest. So that's definitely something that I'd recommend. So you can now see, like I can see that I definitely need to go in with blush. So I'm actually going to do that quite a bit. Okay, for lips, I went through quite a few options and I felt like this Dior Addict Lip Tattoo Rosewood is something that I would sort of like to work with. Okay, and finally for highlighter, I'm going to use the Shimmer Brick from Bobbi Brown. Such a classic, this one. It's going to go with a little bit of contour, but this is just with the HUDA, just to give some definition. I'll change my clothes and be right back. So I put on this mock neck sweater just to tone down the look and sort of, it kind of even helps brighten the pink up. But this is the finished look.